on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
I'm looking at us both backstage. We're all like dancing.
I know, yeah. Thanks for our new theme song.
Someday I will just get used to having my own theme song, but it hasn't happened yet. I just think that's the wildest thing. I got a theme song. And we have fans, and we have people showing up now. It's wonderful. Live shows.
Yeah, in the hospital.
Right.
Shout out to my nurse Janet today, and her coworker who came in to see me, and she had a terrible towel from Italy, and she's apparently a big Joey Bag of Donuts fan and listens to our podcast and some of your other podcasts. So shout out to her. She took good care of me today. I had to have a bone marrow biopsy today, and fun stuff that goes along with having cancer. And yeah, it was a long day, but here we are.
But here we are. Hi, Janet. Yeah, you shared me this picture of this terrible towel, and it is a terrible towel with the Roman Colosseum in it. How cool is that? An Italian terrible towel.
Yeah, and I like to collect terrible towels, and that's one you can't find on a lot of places. So kudos to her for getting that one. That's a good one, good find.
That is so cool.
Yep.
I want to see. Okay, no, I was looking because there's green like shamrock terrible towels.
Yes.
My wife said she wanted one. But I don't see an Italian one. Could you imagine a terrible towel of like the Italian flag? You know what they do? Oh my god, they make one. They make one. Of course, in Bloomfield. Of course.
Yeah, right, in Bloomfield.
I need to get one of those.
Of course, it would be in Bloomfield. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. They just had Little Italy days, which
that's crazy.
I wanted
it's fun.
It's fun, but it's also it was like wall to wall people, and I just can't people that much. I can't. No,
it's a lot of people. I mean. Yeah, but it's like they're making the cannolis fresh on the street. It's hard. It's hard to beat. My wife and I used to go all the time, and then again, just so many people, and it is shoulder to shoulder.
A good cannoli is one of the best desserts ever.
Yes.
Oh my god, so good, so good. All right. Well, welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. If you want to join in on the conversation, they have a little scrolly thing down there, youtube.com/@JoeyBagOfDonuts. And we'll always have people commenting, and we incorporate that into the episode. So thank you. So the Steelers had their second preseason game, and Are we looking at the future of preseason games? Of why are we having these things? Well, the starters hardly play.
No.
It seems like they've turned into almost a giant tryout, which is fine for an evaluation for the people trying to make the roster, and that's fine. But in terms of looking at your team, I mean, I went to the game. It's like, what am I looking at? Like, I'm looking at best, I'm seeing the second stringers there. Very few starters. Like, what are we doing? What is the point of this? I don't know. It's like, it's glorified practice.
Yeah, and announced today that TJ Watt or I think Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers, none of them are playing this Thursday either. But then again, and I shared this on Twitter this morning, I think you shared it, is, you saw Joe Burrow get crushed by like 5 Redskins or 5 Commanders because his offensive line, even one guy, number 62, he's like, I don't know. And like Burrow gets planted on the 1 yard line. And, maybe Tomlin and other coaches see that, I'm like, we're not doing that, because that's the other thing you say tryout, right? And yeah, I mean, if I'm a defensive lineman that just got drafted or just got brought in from somewhere else, I'm trying everything I can to make this team. If that means putting Joe Burrow on his butt, then that means putting Joe Burrow on his butt. I'm going to do it, And so I don't know if it has. We talked about this earlier today. If it has anything to do with Aaron Rodgers' age at 41, but like you say, Joe, you're seeing this across the league. It's not just a Steeler thing. But yeah, and I think it's just that I don't think any head coach wants to answer to, hey, you just lost, whoever for the year, this major star. Why did you have him in on a preseason game?
Yeah,
it means nothing. Because hey, Steelers lost, but we don't really even care about win or loss. We're probably here tonight to talk more about who did what in the game more than the score. If they would have lost 58-0, you might say, well, that was kind of bad. But I mean, 17-14, okay, close loss, whatever. But I think that's what it is. And if you look at, and I peeked this afternoon, the transaction log right now this week in the NFL is insane, including the Steelers who cut like 5 guys just yesterday, brought in a couple guys. And I think they are definitely using these games anymore to say, okay, where do we need depth? Who's good enough? Who can we start cutting? Where do we think we need to bring it in? Who's injured at this point in camp that they might be totally healthy for the first few weeks of the season? Who do we need to add? Because the Steelers added 2 tackles today, 2 offensive left tackles. And I don't think that's necessarily a reflection on Broderick Jones as it is, Garrett's hurt. So I think they're just looking to pad that up. But so let some guys go. They brought some guys in. And if you look down the list, like I said, everybody's doing that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wild time. Yeah, I don't know. But one thing that we did see in this previous game is Roman Wilson had a pretty good game. And there was a report from Jeremy Fowler that said the Steelers aren't looking for the trade or to acquire a wide receiver 2 because they believe Roman Wilson is their wide receiver 2. Is that a good idea, or maybe should they get some? We're also hearing reports that Gabe Davis might sign Gabe Davis. So is Roman Wilson good enough to be wide receiver 2?
Well, first of all, first question, Roman Wilson looked great. And the catch that he made was a tough catch, but he made the catch, and that was a big part of it. And he's been making the catches, making the plays, running the right routes. And yeah, I think he has a lot to prove, and I don't know if he's number 2 yet because Calvin Austin's technically number 2, but he's hurt. They let Rock Taylor go today. And I think that's probably a sense they made bringing in Gabe Davis. I think the Gabe Davis is more than a rumor. I think it's going to happen. I just think it's a matter of time. But no, he's trying to make up for what happened last year, and he's trying to make sure he has a spot on his team. And that's only a good thing for us, right? And a good thing for the team. And he looked good, and that's what we were looking for. We were looking for him to come out and look good. We really hadn't seen a lot out of him to this point. And then you're also looking for a couple other guys, especially KJ, to step up, and he did too. So, but that was good to see Roman Wilson do that. I think that gave some Steeler fans a little bit of relief about the wide receiving core that's still somewhat of a question mark right now. Because it's obvious DK Metcalf is the guy. He's looked tremendous in camp with Rodgers. They're going to be a lethal duo this year, but they need some help in the wide receiving core, and Roman Wilson's the guy that a lot of people are hoping they'll get there.
I mean, he was a 3rd-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
You draft somebody in the 3rd round, you expect things from them. You expect them to be something. If you draft a wide receiver in the 3rd round, you expect him to at least be a wide receiver 2. So,
yeah,
he's on target. And I mean, I know you've been behind him, this whole time ever since that he's been drafted. So,
yeah.
But he looked good. He was getting open. He was making the catches, and it just seems like it's the goal of the team to boost his confidence, because that's what he needs. He needs the experience and he needs the confidence. And, Aaron Rodgers saying this kid has a lot of talent. He just needs to get out of his head, and, them, trying to feed him this previous game. So cool. Hey,
yeah.
If he could work out and be a good wide receiver, Awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's good
Yeah.
news.
And he's had some good stories in camp. I think the one in particular. Hi, Pam. Pam Bernstein said hello to us there on Facebook. So hello, Pam. Pam's out of Newcastle area there in Pennsylvania. So thank you, Pam. The one story that struck me there in week 2 or beginning of week 3, practice is over, but he wanted the ball catcher. They didn't start putting the equipment away. So I don't know if it was a wide receiving coach or who, but they brought the ball, the ball hurler back out, and he started catching. Well, then the other receivers came back out after they'd gone back in to the dorms. So I thought that was kind of cool that it was him that initiated that. And it's a great story only when it, proves to be something on the field. And it proved to be a lot on the field, right, with him looking great last night. I mean, that was a tough catch. I mean, that cornerback was still on him pretty good. So he made a great catch on that, and that's the kind of thing you want to see out of him. And, Aaron Rodgers definitely sees something in him. That's one thing. Aaron Rodgers has been vocal the last couple of weeks. And when he's vocal in a good way, I think it's got to, give you confidence as a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that concerns me about Gabe Davis is all of these, the thing about Aaron Rodgers is you need to develop a rapport with him because he is kind of unique, and the way you got to work with him, DK Metcalf and him are working like crazy, and they were working in the off season, and he's developing this rapport with all the wide receivers. Well, then you're getting somebody in with like a week or 2 left in till the regular season. Is this, would this work with Gabe Davis? Would this, I don't know. Something's first of all, something's not right with this situation, because it sounds like it's a health issue, that his knee or whatever is just not there yet, or is it? I don't know, because I think he got hurt like the last game of last season or something like that. So it's a little scary, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe, I think that the purpose of a Gabe Davis would just be to run one route, streak, go down the field. That's it. Yeah. So, it doesn't take a lot.
Way.
Yeah, go straight.
I don't know. I don't know if it was Alan Saunders or maybe Cavalli that posted a picture of him doing a shuttlecock run, when they had a shuttle set up in the field. And he looked pretty good. I mean, he was going high tempo and everything there. He looked really good running the shuttles, the cones and everything. So I don't know, Joe. Maybe that's the thing. I think they bring in a guy like that and, let him heal a little bit, and he could be strong, in a couple of weeks or a month if he's not already there. So, yeah, that's the thing. I think right now, especially with these last couple of cuts, they're looking at who's injured, who's not, who can we bring in. Like I said, they brought in the 2 tackles today. One is Pearl, who played 6 years at Illinois, which that's where we're at in college football now. You're playing 6 years. A lot of people go to school for 6 years. They call them doctors.
They call them doctors.
Yeah. So, and then I think he was undrafted, but he made some plays there. He played for the Browns, I think for the Saints, or no, not for the Saints, and now he's back, with us. And he's a big boy. He's 6'6". He's everything, you want to see. And, but they brought him in, and they brought in the kid from the Saints who's actually been there. He's a 10-year NFL veteran. That was Andrew Pete, so they're showing that kind of stuff up. But, yeah, I think they get Gabe Davis, and then going back to who looked good. So Caleb Johnson, here's a guy we've been talking about a lot. He started out camp strong, and it's been kind of going down. Aaron Rodgers gets into it with him. Tomlin calls him right out, which, we've seen Tomlin do that before, but not that often. But for Tomlin to say, I'm expecting to see a lot out of him. And he delivered, 11 carries, 55 yards, 59 yards, I think it was. Some of the runs look good. I thought, some of them, the funny thing is, where I live, we didn't see the Steelers game live. So I had to watch it like the next morning on NFL Network. And, but it gave me the opportunity to kind of watch it a couple times. And some of the running routes he's taking, he's doing these cutbacks. And, he's finding out that strong safeties in the NFL move a lot faster than they do in college football. So, but that's learning. That's good.
Yeah.
So I was, happy with it. He didn't score 3 touchdowns, but, if he does, that's great. He doesn't. it's not the end of the world, but he did look better. And again, he's a rookie, right? We're talking about 2 preseason games. Let's see what he looks like. I would just say I'm not impressed. I'm just kind of underwhelmed with him to this point. But Saturday made me feel a little bit better.
That's the thing. He's just. I remember when Jaromir Jagr started, people were like, "Leave him alone. He's just a boy. He's just starting out." And this is what happens. I don't care if you were the greatest running back ever. You're still going to have problems adjusting to the NFL. It doesn't matter who it is. And yeah, he's learning the hard way. And he's probably going to start slow, which is fine because you have Jaylen Warren, who is basically, we haven't really seen or heard of much because he doesn't play in the preseason games. But, maybe they're saving him, whatever. But, fine. You use Jaylen Warren and Gainwell a lot in the beginning, and then as Caleb Johnson gets more experienced and better. I remember Le'Veon Bell's his rookie year. He didn't start out great. He eventually grew into it. So this is what happens when you have a rookie. They're not fully formed yet. They got to figure it out. So This is what happens.
Yeah, I mean, some guys do. Ashton Gentry looked phenomenal for the Raiders, but then again, he trucked that guy from the 49ers, which has been all the highlight. But I'm sitting there thinking, holy cow, if he would have hurt himself on that play.
Right.
I like Jaylen Warren. I'm not sure he's the best back for this type of Arthur Mote's offense, but we'll see. But I think they need Caleb Johnson, Joe. That's the thing. They need him. So, he obviously can't be second or third fiddle for too long. And I think what you're going to see a lot of is either him or Jaylen Warren on first and second down. I think you'll see Gainwell on third down like he was used with the Eagles last year a lot. And then, who knows? But he's going to have to, play a little bit harder. Obviously, Tomlin said he was happy with what he did after the game. So, we'll see. But that was a guy I was kind of keeping an eye on. Roman Wilson's a guy I checked a few boxes too there. So that was good. Let's see. Hello, Donna, and hello, Alex. Alex Borchers. Alex is an old friend of mine. He's out of Michigan. At least he used to be in Grand Rapids. So got a little Michigan viewer there, Joe. So,
hey,
yeah.
He would know about Roman Wilson.
He would know about Roman Wilson. He would know a lot about Roman Wilson. So, yeah. So those are some things that I thought they look good. But here's the other thing, Joe, and I'm surprised you haven't said it yet. Skylar Thompson looked good again. I don't know what they're going to do with the kid. I really don't. Because I really don't think they're going to carry 4 quarterbacks in. But I don't know what you do. Because Will Howard, that broken finger couldn't have came at a worse time. Because I think everybody wanted to see how well he would do in these 3 games. These were going to be his 3 games that maybe solidify his spot. Because I know we haven't even gotten to game 1 yet, folks. But Steelers fans are still talking about, what quarterback are we going to draft next year? Well, you might have your guy in Will Howard, but there's no way of seeing that yet. And you're probably sure as hell, hopefully, you're not going to see it in the regular season. Because if we're starting Will Howard for some reason, we're in bad shape.
Oh, we're in trouble.
So, yeah, but here's Skylar Thompson just balling these last couple preseason games.
Listen, I have the solution, and we started this podcast talking about the Italian terrible towel, and problems like this require an Italian solution. What you do is you go up to Will Howard and say, it'd be a shame if you ended up on injured reserve because of your broken finger. Sure would be a shame if something happened to that finger. You know what I'm saying? A little injured reserve. I think that you could do an injured, like a short-term injured reserve, which is like the first 4 weeks or something like that.
Yes.
And then you keep Skylar Thompson, and you put and you have because Will Howard he's not going to start if he. I hate to say this, but I think there is going to come a time when we're going to need the third quarterback sometime this season. It's possible. It has happened on other teams. So if right now in 2025, I would rather have that quarterback be Skylar Thompson, who has had experience, than Will Howard, who is just a baby and still figuring this out. No matter how good he looks, you're going to basically be a deer in the headlights if he has to play this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that could be the solution. I don't know, be a shame if something happened to him, but hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah, nice family. You got family? Yeah, we got the Sopranos coming out here now. No, it's that's probably going to be more the interesting one to see what happens to Skylar Thompson, because I think he's getting a little bit of a following all of a sudden, and he's looked good. But then there's been other quarterbacks that have looked good in preseason across the spectrum too. So we'll have to see how it goes. But that's a guy that I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen to the next 2 weeks, because they still have 91 players on the roster as of right now, and that's got to start getting cut down here real quick.
It's weird how they have that. It used to be you had to cut so many after certain, there was like 2 or 3 cut periods, but now I think almost everybody gets cut like on the same day or some crazy thing like that. Like, it's really weird. I'm trying to pull up the of course I can't find it now. I think it's like August 26th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the cut down day, and then the next day you put people on your practice squad, and then that's it. So it all happens at the same time, which I wonder why. I don't know. I would think if I was if I was a players, I would want to say, listen, if you don't want me, cut me early so I could latch on to another team. Not everybody gets cut at once, and it's like, okay, what do I do now? I don't know. That's how they do it.
Right. Yeah, and I just it's going to be interesting to see where some of these guys land. I still wonder about Corey Trice. They love him, but he's nursing an injury.
He's always nursing an injury,
and I think that's for that kid. Those injuries in college probably, unfortunately, hurt him. And but I think Corey Trice, and the talk lately has been Beanie Bishop might be on the block.
That's what I heard.
And I don't like that, because I think Beanie Bishop he's stayed healthy. Last year we were still perplexed that he got benched for some reason. And he's looked good in the preseason. He's had to play a lot of times because JPJ hasn't played. I tell you this, if Beanie Bishop gets cut, he'll be picked up by somebody real quick, without question.
He's one of those ones that you would hope to sneak on the practice squad, and I don't think it would happen. I think you're right. I think another team would pick him up.
Yeah, and all in the name of, I think they love Juan Pierre too, and Pierre's such a great, fantastic special teams player. So in a way, it's a good problem to have for them, but there's probably going to be 1 or 2 surprise cuts there that I think a lot of people might not be expecting. But Corey Trice, I love Corey Trice. I mean, and the Corey Trice I remember, his freshman, sophomore year at Purdue. Watching him cover some of the, going to Penn State games and a few others, and watching him cover like a glove, and it's like, wow, this kid's going to be good. And then the injuries, but his injuries, he still got drafted, even with some debilitating injuries, and he still looked good. And it's one of those things. It's like, man, he could be this, but in reality, he's this.
And then was it his second or third year or something like that? He just keeps getting injured, and it's like, at some point we gotta cut bait, because it's like, you can't. Your best ability is availability. Like, we keep counting you, man.
Well, it's like the Steelers adding the 2 tackles. I think that had a lot to do with Garrett's injury. Probably maybe a little bit with Broderick. I don't know the uncertainty there, but why do you bring in a 10-year veteran? But they brought him in, so they definitely are definitely prepping for offensive tackle depth right now.
I think if Beanie Bishop gets cut, I think it's all a diabolical plan by Aaron Rodgers. Remember that game against Aaron Rodgers? Beanie Bishop I think he had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then he asked Aaron Rodgers to sign the football. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll get you, kid.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too with Aaron Rodgers. He's Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't stopped being who he is. they had an interview with Broderick Jones today, and Broderick Jones says, well, it's kind of a love-hate relationship because, like, he'll tell him, you effed up, you did this wrong, and he's like another coach out there. And, I don't feel bad for Broderick Jones. Sorry, I don't.
Right.
Someone's out there telling you effed up and good because you need to hear it. I don't know if you watched what happened to you last year, but, you didn't exactly, make a lot of a big impression last year. So, if Aaron Rodgers is out there getting into with players like that, I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons the Steelers brought him in, to be honest with you. Like, we're going to bring in a 41-year-old goal. Like my dad, right? My dad's now at the age where he's going to tell you what he thinks, and it doesn't matter if we're, sitting downstairs in the recliners or we're in a bar, and it's like, well, that guy, it's like, dad, but that's Aaron Rodgers. He's my dad. He's like, hey, you missed your block and you're sucking ass right now. It's like, hey, Aaron, no, they're letting Aaron say what he wants to say. And honestly, Joe, I think some of these players need to hear that because
exactly.
we have said for years that one of Mike Tomlin's downfalls, I think he's friends, buddy with a lot of these players. So, when you have a guy that's going to go to the Hall of Fame, whether you like Aaron Rodgers or not, he's a Hall of Famer. He's arguably probably top 10, 15 quarterbacks in history. Super Bowl trophy beating us to do it. And not a lot of question marks on that guy's statistics or abilities. There's question marks about his character. But hey, if he's going to be out there and honestly, look what happened with Caleb Johnson. He got in with Caleb Johnson Monday. I mean, they had to be separated. And I think that lit a fire under Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson had to go back to his dorm room like, okay, a Hall of Famer just chewed me out and told me my attitude sucks and I'm not doing. A part of it was actually a missed block, and the other part was he took the handoff on the wrong side. And that's what Aaron Rodgers went over and started saying. Good, say that to him. Because I don't think Skylar Thompson's going to do that, and Will Howard sure is, and Mason Rudolph probably not. So good, that's what you need.
That's what this team needs, and that's what this team has needed ever since Ben Roethlisberger has been gone. They need a leader. They need someone. Russell Wilson's nice, but he was also a big phony baloney, and he wasn't that guy. But it's like they were desperate for a leader, someone to be that. I don't want to say father figure, but basically you're the leader, the man that you look up to. And there's nobody more that you could look up to than a future first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl winner. There's right. He has the credentials. And I think Aaron Rodgers has I think that's been one of the surprises of this season so far. He started off horrible. He started off this year horrible. Is he going to show up? It's like, is he committed? He's like, I don't know. I'd rather be on the beach. I got friends, blah, blah, blah. And then ever since he joined the team, he's been all in. He's been a great teammate. He's been doing everything they've asked of him and more, and being open and welcoming and talking to everybody. Great. I think they desperately needed someone like that. And and from his perspective, it's like, hey, left tackle, my life depends on you, especially I'm 41 years old. And if you're not doing your job, I'm going to die. Hey, right. Rookie running back, if you don't do the proper protection, I'm going to die and my career is over. So do your damn job.
Yeah. If part of that $10 million included a life coach, then great, because that's what he is.
Pretty much.
Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer, this, that, and the other, also life coach. And so that's all good. And, and that's the thing, because I don't think any of us want to see Caleb Johnson do bad. I actually like the kid a great deal. He looked great in Iowa. And, but that's the good thing. And Broderick Jones, he definitely needs it. He needs to be told. And he got told, and that's good. And, people would say, well, are you worried about him saying it's a love-hate relationship? Well, good, then hate him. Maybe that'll make you play better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need a kick in the butt, kick his butt.
Yep, absolutely.
So the final preseason game is this Thursday. Weird. Tomlin said they might play starters, might not. Depends on what Carolina does. But if I'm guessing, They're not going to play. They're not going to play starters. They're probably just going to. It's
So
just going to
already,
be. It's just a giant tryout.
already Metcalf, Rogers, Watt, Ramsey are all out.
And Cam.
And Cam. Although of note, Cam did put on the pads today and practiced, So, I mean, that's all we really got. It was a media attended practice today. But, so he put on the pads, and that's a good thing to see. And, again, I still fall back on the fact that you can say what you want about Cam, but he's been at every team meeting. He's been at every defensive lineman meeting. I don't have any worry how good he's going to be at defensive line. Just get it done and do what you're going to do. But, so I don't think you're going to see a lot of starters. But then again, what the Steelers do have an advantage in because that gives them a few extra days to decide who's going to be on that cut-down roster next week. And they can evaluate that talent and everything. But, this would have been a game where you would like to have seen a good quarter or two of Will Howard. We're probably going to see a lot of Skylar Thompson and the likes. But, and I think it's another game where Caleb Johnson can even do better than he did on Saturday. So, welcome to the NFL for some of these rookies because you're seeing that, and a lot of the Steelers have always said they hate Ben was a big proponent, if you will, of hating Thursday night games because that's a quick turnaround from usually Sunday, right? This time it's Saturday. From Sunday to Thursday. Now, the reversal is you do have Thursday off until next Sunday. But, again, you're seeing what it takes. Hey, you turn around, we're playing again, 2 nights. So,
yeah.
Ready?
They hate the Thursday because it's a short week, but they love when it's over, you get a week and a half off.
Right.
So there's that trade-off. Yeah.
And I think, again, Joe, you always think of the opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, it's like that thing with the Bengals and the Commanders the other night. There's a bunch of second-string defensive guys that are like, oh, God, Joe Burrow's available to sack, and they all kill him. Luckily, he didn't get hurt. But, there's going to be guys in that Panthers defense that are trying to make this team, and they're going to play their hearts out. It's their last opportunity as well. So it's usually maybe the most fun game of the preseason is the last one. And I think you're going to see a lot of guys playing their guts out so they don't have to be playing in the UFL next year.
Or being a bartender.
Right. And getting insulted by the Steelers OC at the Tequila Cowboy.
Oh, God, what was his name?
Now I'm going to forget too. But, yeah.
Oh, crap. What's it like? It's driving me crazy.
He was from the Chiefs.
He was with the Chiefs.
That's how we roll in Pittsburgh. You show up with the Tequila Cowboy and you're not doing well, you're going to get called out on it. That's how Steelers are.
Todd Haley
got in a fight at the Tequila Cowboy. I remember that so well. Yeah.
The guy was a coach in the NFL and a coordinator, rose the head coach. And what do we remember him for? Getting drunk at Tequila Cowboy.
Right. Because I think the guy started on him, and then I think he made a remark about his wife.
Right.
And then I think that's kind of how that rolled. Oh yeah, you gotta love it.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Because I think it's like the whole Latrobe thing, right? Like, I mean, Steelers fans know who you are. I'm not downplaying anybody else, but like I don't think they know who you are in, say, like New Orleans or maybe Jacksonville, right? They may know who the head coach is, or like Trevor Lawrence is kind of hard to disguise himself with his hair, but they're gonna know who the OC to DC are when they're out in public. Hey, there's Terrell Austin. There's they're gonna know. There's Arthur Smith. They're gonna know that we're a very educated, maybe drunk sometimes. We're a very educated fan base. And if you catch us when we're drunk, that can be bad for you.
Hey, when you go to Latrobe, there are dudes with a notebook. I don't know what they're writing on their notebook, but they're taking notes, baby.
They are.
They're taking notes in practice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing either. It's pretty funny, but I saw a couple guys with notebooks the one day. I was like, wow, really? What are you gonna rip that off and run it down to Mike and say, hey,
Right.
try this?
Excuse me, coach. Coach, I just want to point this out. I just just in case you didn't know, I'm just want to point this out on this drill.
Yeah. There was one guy, he was writing things down, shaking his head like, man, that play didn't go well. Like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, I could see it didn't go well. I'm not going to write it down. Like, I don't know. It's just funny to me. Unless you're a member of the media, yeah. So don't do that, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. I don't know where my my daughter and her boyfriend were, but they were somewhere and they saw Zach Frazier. And my daughter's boyfriend just went up to him and was like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I take a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. So, I mean, we know our players here. I mean, also, they're kind of big dudes. So
yeah, they're very large humans.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I saw Darnell Washington downtown, I would think there would be like planes coming at him because he would be climbing a building trying to swat them or something because he's as big as King Kong. But
right. Yeah, they do stick out a little bit. Yeah, they stick out.
But so it's August 19th. The next game is August 21st. The first game of the regular season for the Steelers is September 7th. 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
that's weird. I mean, not that the starters were playing anyway, but that's still we gotta wait 2.5 weeks to start the season. That's a lot of time.
It is, but again, I think the one advantage there is, I mean, now you can kind of compile. It's a culmination of the end of the preseason. Who's going to be left when the dust settles in the roster sheet? All right, let's get these 53 guys rolling. So it does give them some time to prepare and get ready for their opponent, the Jets. They'll get to see the Jets play on Saturday, so we'll be able to see a little bit of that. And because Justin Fields hasn't looked great, I'm not sure if you've seen that.
No, he hasn't.
So, and Russell Wilson, I tell you, he'll probably be named a starter. But that's smelling a lot to me like Tommy Maddox and Big Ben. Jackson Dart has been, and I told you, that's a guy I wanted so bad. I mean, Jackson Dart is everything, I think, in a bag of chips, and he has looked undeniably fantastic in preseason.
Don't be surprised if they trade Jameis Winston to probably New Orleans, because New Orleans is a mess.
They're a mess.
They have nobody. They have like a 73-year-old rookie quarterback, and he sucks.
Right. Or Cleveland will get him.
They're collecting quarterbacks like Pokemons.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Gotta collect them all.
I gotta collect them all. So yeah. Jameis Winston was already in Cleveland, so yeah, come back, man. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? So I could see Russell Wilson. I mean, I'm sorry, but the Giants are not good, and that coach, if they're not good, that coach is hanging on by a string. So he'll be fired by like week 7 or 8 or something like that, maybe sooner. And I could see them throwing away the season and saying, put in the kid. Let's see what the kid can do. And it's like, hey, it's a lost season anyway. Let's see what the kid could do and see what happens.
Yeah, I think,
because I think Russell Wilson is going to be running for his life. And that moonball is pretty. And Malik Neighbors is like one of the few good players on that team, but that's a big if.
Yeah, for sure. But so that's the kind of thing that you're looking at there, and I think the Steelers are just going to start preparing. And again, I think they actually benefit from a Thursday game in Carolina, where again it'll be all Pittsburgh. I mean, I always like to tune in on TV because it's going to be a black and gold in that stadium.
Oh yeah. That's
half of Pittsburgh moved to the Carolinas in the late 90s and early
right.
2000s. Yeah, it'll be one-sided for sure.
Listen, I've never seen a Jacksonville Jaguars bar, but I've seen plenty of Steelers bars in lots of cities all over,
I think we talked about that once because we were there, and our friends that live there, they live in Mount Holly, not far from Charlotte. And he showed me the three Steeler bars that are in Charlotte. 3.
That's funny.
and two of them are only within a few blocks of each other. And those are the Steeler bars in Charlotte. So that just kills me. That just kills me. It's like
Guys, we need one more Steelers bar. We're over capacity.
Right. It's like I told you last year when obviously before all this stuff happened with my health, we have a partnership with the Little League World Series through Musco Lighting, and I'm always at the Little League World Series. This year, obviously, I can't go. But last year at the Curacao team, we met with them a couple times and had some fun. And we were sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings. I forget who the Steelers were playing. It was preseason game 2. And they come in, the whole team, and they have terrible towels. And they're all, and I said to the coach, I said, "You guys are Steeler fans?" He said, "Where?" Yeah. He said, "There's a Steeler bar right in Curacao." Like, oh my gosh. I mean, like, there's a Steeler bar in Curacao, so it's insane. But there are 3 Steeler bars in Charlotte. So that's just, it kills me.
I visited the Grand Canyon about 20 years ago. And, you're here with a group of people and you're out looking at the Grand Canyon and stuff. And I'm wearing, obviously, I always wear Pittsburgh gear when I go out of town. And some Chinese woman just starts pointing at me. She says, "Steeler, Steeler, Steeler, Steeler." Hi.
Yep.
I'm not one of the Steelers, man, but still, thank you.
Yeah. It's funny how that goes. So you'll see that in Carolina. That's always kind of fun. But no, I definitely feel like let's see what Caleb Johnson can do. I want to see more of that. I'm being greedy. I want to see more Caleb Johnson improving. I want to see more Roman Wilson. I want to see more Broderick Jones improving. Because so far those 3 have been, at least up through last week. So let's see that continue and keep going. Because that's all you can count on. And it's these kind of games that make or break you, like the tackle from the Packers that I tweeted about this morning. He had 5 penalties on him. He had 5 penalties. Like 5. Like, wow. That's
the ref is like, "Hey, I'm not going to let up on you. I'm just going to keep calling penalties on you. So
right.
Either figure it out or I'm just going to keep penalizing you."
Right. And I think that kid will make the team. He's a fairly high draft pick, but still, that's the kind of thing that can mess you up too. So.
And the coach was probably like, No, leave him in there. Let him suffer. Let him learn.
Right.
That'll teach him.
Right.
You learn the hard way, kid.
Yep.
Because he easily could have pulled them. Could have said, "You're having a bad day. We're getting you out of there." It's like, no. Stay in there and learn. Figure it out.
Stay out. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So I think it all adds up pretty well for the Steelers, and I think they made it through the season for the most part. No serious injuries, and let's just keep it that way and hope that it stays that way and get ready for the regular season.
It's exciting. We're almost there. A couple more weeks. I've already. Is it time for fantasy football drafts yet, or is that next week? I already did one.
Did you?
The main guy I got my first pick was Jinty, and the hardest thing was, what do I name the team? Do I name them Jinty in a Bottle or I Dream of Jinty?
I Dream of Jinty is pretty good.
Yeah. I think I gotta go with her. Yeah. There was also Ladies and Gentlemen, but no. I actually have another draft late tonight, so we'll see how that goes. It's still a little bit early. I think like next week is the prime week, because that's when actually not even next. What is it? The 20? When all after all the cuts happen, and then the rosters are more set and you're more
and injuries are known.
Right.
We always try to have ours pretty late. In fact, I had one guy from my league pick up our trophy today. Trophy Works. There's a shout out to Boone Township and Trophy Works. And I dropped the trophy off last week to get the gentleman Hunter who won our championship last year. And there were fantasy football trophies on the floor, on the counter. And he said, this is the week we do the fantasy football trophies because there's so many drafts this next coming week. Right. And so I think that's what everybody waits for. Ours is going to be, we just voted on moving it. Ours is going to be later. It's like the 31st. So that's when ours is going to be. And we're going to have a good time. It's our 21st year. And I'm actually picking first overall for the first time.
Oh, boy. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take Jamar Chase. Nico Collins is my keeper. And I figure if I have Jamar Chase, that gives me a pretty damn good wide receiving core to start off with.
He seems like not the consensus number one, but basically which is I think one of the first times a wide receiver has been the number one pick.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. But I mean, he won me some leagues last year. I mean, he was insanely
He's
good.
insane. And that's what you're going to see with the Bengals, our AFC North neighbor. They're going to score 30 points a game. They're probably going to give up 35. Because that's really interesting too. There's a lot of minimum stuff going on with, B-level players, depth ads, but I really want to see what's going to happen with Micah Parsons and Hendrickson's next week. Because they're gone. They're not coming back to their teams. And the Bengals defense sucked with him, Joe. Now they're going to be without him. They're going to suck worse. I mean, Joe Burrow's got to be like, guys. Same thing Paul Skeens is probably saying to the Pirates, guys.
Exactly. I really hope that they don't have this crazy idea. Let's trade Micah Parsons for Hendrickson. I really hope that's because I do not want to see Micah Parsons in the AFC North playing him twice a year. I don't want no part of that. They keep saying, Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, they're so far apart. And, I responded, it's like, they say this all the time. It's like, these bitter contract negotiations. And then a day later, it's like, they got the deal done. But I don't know about this time. It might get real ugly with Micah Parsons.
I think and then Adam Schefter said they're close to divorce. So, and that's just the end of the thing. And, the Bills are the team that really needs one of those two guys, but they're also last in the NFL. They're actually negative 595,000 on the cap. So if the Bills are going to get one of the guys, they're giving out draft picks. They don't have a choice. And I don't see how either one of those teams is going to say less than 2 first-rounders. Patriots have the most to spend. We're right up there, too, with 30.9 to spend. So, I think we could, but I don't think they will. But I think one of those two guys might end up with the Patriots. I really
that would be an all-time fumble if you let that guy go over a stupid contract negotiation because good. You know what? I hope that does happen because Jerry Jones is such an arrogant idiot. We complain. We have complaints about Rooney. Okay. But he is nothing like Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has his own talk show he appears on the radio every single week, spouting off stupid stuff and embarrassing himself because he thinks he's smarter than everybody else and he has to be such a jackass. At least we don't have to deal with that.
I don't know what he tells people because it's been 31 years since they won a Super Bowl. Like, what have you been doing? And to let this guy walk when your defense isn't that great to begin with. He's the captain of your defense. He's arguably your best player on either side of football. And the only thing I can see him doing is doing something similar. Like, we want 2 first-round draft picks. We want to do like Herschel Walker. We want this. We want a whole plethora of these things, or he's not going to play this year. And that's just the bottom line. But, so that's interesting how that's going to go these next couple days. But,
I forgot who it was, but someone said, Hendrickson is available for trade. I was thinking of a really good team that would use Hendrickson. The Bengals. They could really use someone like Hendrickson.
They could. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just silly. I don't know. You there's plenty of money to go around. Why are we doing this? Why are we just you're going to pay him. Just pay him. Like what's it stinks. You're giving him $36 million instead of $34 million or something like that. Okay, fine. What's that extra $2 million going to get you? Some scrub or something like that. Like, just pay the man.
Yeah, no, seriously, I can't agree with you more there. And that's the hard part about it. I mean, I don't know how the Bengals justify doing that. I mean, they desperately need defense, and you're going to let your best guy go, a guy who arguably was a little bit better than Myles Garrett or Watt last year.
Mm-hmm. I think he led the league in sacks.
Yeah, and you're going to let him walk. And I mean, that's just the Bungles, right? I mean, That's the Bungles, folks. They're the Pittsburgh Pirates of football.
Thank you. Exactly. Yes, they are the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're even worse than the Pirates. They are basically a mom and pop operation running $1 billion franchise. It's a joke. It's funny, and they're running it like, and they're at least Jerry Jones. I could see what he's doing. He just wants to show what a big shot he is. But the Bengals, they're just dumb. They do this with almost everybody.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they paid Burrow and Chase.
And,
I'm not.
and
Did they pay
Higgins?
They paid Higgins. Oh yeah, they paid Higgins too because now they don't have any money.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they almost everybody else, they have bitter contract negotiations to the point where people just are disgusted and say, "Screw you! I don't want to play here anymore." It's a joke of a franchise, and it's been like this for decades. That's just what they are. That's why when I said they were lucky to get Joe Burrow, and yeah, Joe Burrow is the Paul Skeens of the NFL. You have this generational, wonderful talent, and yeah, they paid the money that pay him, but they screwed up everything else, and I knew they would because they've been doing it for decades.
Right. They're the Bungles. I mean, even like you can give Browns credit. Okay, Myles Garrett said, "Hey, I need this from walking." Okay, we're going to give it to you. Steelers do the same thing for Watt. And you can't tell me that, Hendrickson didn't look at that and say, hey, Garrett got paid, Watt got paid. I'm right in there with them. In fact, I had more sacks than either one of them.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pay me up. And no, nothing. And so now they're listening to trade offers. And I don't even imagine the Bungles would mess that up. I mean, how many picks did they have over the years where they just screwed it up? From Achilles Smith.
Achilles Smith.
I mean, they're just, sorry, any Bengals fans are listening, but man, what a joke. And
that's not even the only franchise quarterback they drafted. There were others.
Klinger, David
Klinger, yeah.
Klinger was another one, and and so it's like you look at that team. The best team they probably ever had that we saw was the '88 team with a size in decent running game and wide receivers and a pretty darn good defense. And 49ers, probably one of the best Super Bowls ever, Super Bowl 21. And, the 49ers squeaked one out because they have Joe Montana, who, that's who you want. He just wins. That's all he does. And they probably would have a Super Bowl trophy if it wasn't for going up against the Niners.
And they almost beat the Rams a few years ago.
Yes.
That was Stafford having a great game.
That was a top 15 defense, and you'd think they would learn from that, and they didn't. It's gone downhill, and they've never been able to reestablish that.
They've basically said, "Oh, it was all the defensive coordinator's fault, and we fired him. Don't worry, we'll be okay." Yeah, you kind of need players too.
Yeah, you need both. Yeah, but so that's what we always say. Right? I'm sorry, but every time we start talking Bengals, we say, we're worried about the Browns, worried about the Ravens, and then there's that Pigeon Park thing in Cincinnati. We don't really, we don't want to hear.
It's yeah.
And they hate us. They you talk to any Bengals fan, it's the Steelers first, and then the Browns, and then the Ravens.
Right.
So it's kind of funny how it's opposite there.
The Bengals are the afterthought of the division.
Yeah.
They're just, the thing with the hatred with the Browns will always be there no matter how they are, and the Ravens are just bitter, the number one rivals. And they're like, oh yeah, there's the Bengals too. And then there was those few years, the Vontaze Burfict years, where
that was fun.
He was one of the great villains ever. Just a horrible human being.
Absolutely.
That damn near killed Antonio Brown. And even then we still beat you in the playoffs, you dummies. Because
lit him up.
Because Joey Porter showed up on the field and they freaked out and they handed the Steelers a field goal.
Yeah, that's Joey being smart. And then I remember JJ lighting him up. Just absolutely, or Juju just absolutely, and it's like, wow, Juju, wow, that was great. I remember they would sell those T-shirts outside, like Juju standing over them.
Just standing over them.
Yeah, they would never sell at Heinz Field, but give those vendors at the end of, Clemente Bridge and the South Side Strip District on Sundays. And, they have the craziest shirts ever.
I thought I got because I went to the game. I was on the Clemente Bridge, and somebody was selling terrible towels, and it was a terrible towel of, remember that Got Milk, where it said Got Rings, and it was all the
Yes.
Super Bowl rings underneath it. And I thought, oh my god, I would love this. He's like, yeah, sure. And then and I bought some dollar water, ice cold dollar waters too.
Ice
and,
cold dollar water. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in all the confusion, it's like, okay, give me a terrible towel, and then I walk a little bit and I look, it's like, oh, you got me, it's the wrong one. This is just the generic one that's that has nothing on it. Like, I didn't want a special one. But now I want a Italian terrible towel with the Coliseum. That is awesome.
Did they do? We talked about this last year before we went off air. Did they do any kind of tribute to the steel, to the Clairton Works?
I didn't hear that.
I'm surprised by that.
But then I was a little bit late, so maybe they
Okay.
did that before the game. So
Maybe they did.
They probably did.
Yeah, because I don't want to say his name on the podcast. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but the young man that died in that explosion, he made the news that first week at camp because there was that 70-year-old man that had a heart attack at camp, and he gave him CPR and saved his life. And that's the guy that died.
That's the guy that passed away.
Young guy died.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And so I was just curious. I guess we got somebody else, but I was wondering if you saw that, if they made the.
That's a
said anything
shame.
about that. But yeah, so again, hats off to the steel workers. I mean, it's basically what this whole thing is about. So,
It's our identity. It's in our
Mhm.
DNA, or the steel.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for all the comments.
Yeah, good stuff tonight.
Shout out again to
Janet.
your nurse.
Yes.
Which is,
Yeah, she'll be happy to hear that. I know she likes to listen to us while she's at work there, and that whole staff on that floor at Mary Lemieux Cancer Center is just incredible. And I was kind of having a rough day with having everything happen to me today, and happened to be there all the way most of the day. And she came in and started talking Steelers with me, and she brought her terrible towel in and just turned the day around. So. That's just the kind of people they put there. So it's good.
when you have to be in a hospital, shout out also to the nurses and the people that work in the hospital that are every day going through hell, every day going through tough situations and being overwhelmed, and they still are kicking butt and taking care of people and saving lives, and just it's amazing. It's amazing the work they do. And It is a thankless job. So shout out to the nurses.
Absolutely. A big shout out to the nurses. So
Yep.
thanks, Joe. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. We'll see
All
ya.
right. Good night, Pittsburgh.